everybody, and welcome to TableTakes here at Gen Con TV. I hope you guys are fabulous today. By the way, can we just tell a round of positivity for all of these lovely human beings that are here and gracing our screens with their presence? Thank you. We love
a round of applause.
The round of applause.
I'm not applauding. I'm energy bending, I guess.
Energy bending.
I was like, wait, she said applause. What am I doing with my hands and my elbows?
Interpretive dance.
Well, you know what? I think it's okay because from my understanding, Monique, you just started a new job this week, right?
I have joined publisher Elf Creek Games, who have done Honey Buzz, Atlantis Rising, and Merchants of the Dark Road, and End of Trail. So I'm pretty stoked about that because games and good humans are good fun. So
yeah. Yay! Congratulations!
Yay, congratulations! Yes. So when are you going to start taking your Nerf gun into the office and then start pranking people by randomly going attack or random encounter? I don't know.
No, I love it because I actually thought about getting a Nerf gun that because someone made a tweet. It was just like Nerf as in like non-exclusionary radical feminist, right? So it was just like Nerf for nothing. Just like that. And I would just love that. It was just like if someone's being transphobic, just shoot him with a Nerf gun and be like, no.
The opposite of turf is a Nerf.
Non-exclusionary. No.
And then there's the nerd sense where to nerf something is to depower it and take away its strength. So
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like label or just like send like good positive queer energy in every bullet.
I love it.
Queer energy.
We don't tolerate turfs in these parts.
These parts here. All right. Well, so let's go ahead and keep that positive energy rolling. And Emma, what have you been doing? Are you being a rock star by any chance? Huh?
Okay, do you ever play like a game? It's like a lawn game or like a kid's game or something, and even just like a high luck game, and you're just on a roll for some reason, like whatever it is. Like you had a beer or something, or you just like had a really good night's sleep, and you're just hitting like darts or something, right? You're just like hitting or bowling, like you go bowling, and you're like usually terrible, but all of a sudden you just like, and everyone's like, oh, you're like a ringer, you're so good at this. I'm like, I've never done this. I don't know what's happening with my body right now. I think I'm possessed. Anyways, so we were playing ladder ball at 4th of July, which is the 3 rungs, and then you have a rope with 2 balls on the end of it. And you throw it and you try to get it to wrapped around the ladder rungs.
Never heard of this before.
It's fun, maybe because I was so good at it all of a sudden. But it's nice because a lot of things, like if you're throwing the bean bags or if you're like horse, it's very specific. But this one, like the rope is, you just kind of like toss it a little bit and it like flies in a weird way. So it's like a little less dexterity, I think, some dexterity. But that was fun just to hang out with friends and play yard games. Like I don't have a yard. I haven't played yard games in like a very long time. And it's just super fun to just be able to be outside in the thankfully cooler weather and hang out. So that was super fun. Also, last night I saw Black Widow in a theater. The first time I've been to a theater.
Whoa.
In a very long time.
What was the experience like?
It was hard. It was stressful. I kept having to think about how much space I was taking up with my body because I would like reach out my leg. I'm like, oh, there's other people here. And I was sitting for a while. I'm like, man, I really want to like, because when you're at home, you're like on the couch and you're like, like the people sitting in chairs, you're like, my leg is like up here or something. It's like you can't do that. You have to just sit in the chair and not be weird.
Are you explaining how it is to be in a public place? Are you?
Yeah. It's really hard.
I like how you're like, when you're at home and you're comfortable, but then you can't do that when you're not at home. Yeah. How was the movie though? Did you like it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought I was just thinking about the weirdness of being in a theater for the first time. The movie was really good. I'm just so happy that they're continuing to preserve one of my favorite parts of the Marvel universe, which is like dumb humor. Not dumb, but like not self-refer or like we're trying to be really clever. They just say like a dumb, just the kind of things when you're hanging out with your friends and you just like make a sarcastic remark or something, and just the whole dynamic between all the characters, the found family sort of a thing, and just like the awkwardness of family in just like really difficult situations. So I thought all of the characters were really well explored. And there was just the fun action stuff as well. And some parts were kind of tough because the whole Black Widow thing is, and this isn't really a spoiler, but like girls are taken away from their families, right? Like that's how the thing works. And so there's some higher level stuff like, wow, that's really dark. But the flip side of that is showcasing a lot of women in a film, right? You know, like a lot of the actors were women because it's like a lot of Black Widows and stuff. And so even though it's not in the best of circumstances, it's always kind of nice to just like, you notice it. I'm like, wow, it's not all dudes, you know, which is a lot of action movies. So I like that part.
But yeah,
I was thinking about checking it out. We'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah. Definitely recommend.
I mean, Isabella, what have you been up to though today, or laying down and recovering to today this week?
I'm aging rapidly. My body is turning to dust before your eyes. I've been on Earth for centuries, millennia at this point. And I just really got the full repercussions of that. Doja Cat released a new album, which was a personal affront for me, because I had to drop it, pop it, lock it, and twerk it. Okay. And I was on like the 4th track of that album. I listened to her and Megan Thee Stallion going back and forth, and I dropped it and I couldn't pick it back up again. So I was in bed for 3 days because I popped my hip.
Oh no.
I like popped like the joint where like the hip bone meets the leg bone, and I sort of like popped it kind of like that. I'm old and I'll never dance again.
No,
I understand. She's too old to be popping it. So I lay down in bed, and I've been writing a whole bunch of stuff, and that's actually been really nice. And I'm trying to write some stuff for trying to do a short film, and so trying to get that done, and then trying to write a game. We'll see how that goes.
Oh my god! Okay.
And so yeah. So we'll see. So I did a lot of that when I was laying down, and this summer is like going to be full of, I think, writing and stuff like that. Also, next week there's a museum here in Seattle called the Mopop, and the next week I'll be hosting one of their movie screenings that they're bringing back, and the movie that they'll be screening is one of my favorite films ever called The Hunger, which is David Bowie and Susan Sarandon and Catherine Genevieve, yes, where they play sexy vampires, and it's one of my favorite movies, and I'll be presenting that. So that's next Friday at the Mopop. Tickets are on sale now if you want to watch the movie with me. I should have dropped the link in the chat, but yeah.
I'm
gonna post
we needed those links right now.
Yes.
Yeah, put it in there. Well, I mean, let's go ahead then. Not all very exciting news. All I have was I had to be productive because I've been fighting internet this whole week. I don't want to talk about the time in the dark zone. It was quite a journey, but I'm glad that I'm slowly getting it back. In any case, you want to know something that is just, kind of going viral in Emma's head right now? Emma, do you want to tell us about the thing that is kind of like leeching your mind and your brain, that's just taking up all that space?
I love this idea.
And liching.
Liching, my brain, one might say. Nothing like bringing something back from the dead, or like there's so many different directions for that. I also love this idea that it's only in my head, only viral. No one else in the outside world cares about this. I will have you know, 46,000 people watched the trailer for this. So, or one person watched it 46,000 times. I don't know. It's got a lot of views on YouTube. Lots of people are very excited about one particular thing, and that thing is World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King adapted into a pandemic board game. I mean, this is peanut butter and chocolate over here. This is like two of my favorite things. World of Warcraft.
It's not too soon to play a game about a pandemic in a pandemic.
I mean, they did honestly, like all the video games that simulated pandemics and the board game as well. Those games went real popular during that time. Y'all were playing pandemic games during the pandemic?
Well,
no,
I mean,
okay.
Go ahead.
What was that, Monique?
I was gonna say, like, well, I mean, it's not the same because it's Warcraft themed, right? And so, like, do they still use like plague and contagion cubes, or?
So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to get a little bit into the history of World of Warcraft, and specifically, this is the Wrath of the Lich King, which is the second expansion of World of Warcraft. And yes, a plague is involved. So basically what's happening is in Warcraft 3, there was a plague that started spreading and killing off a lot of people and raising them as zombies, or raising them as undead skeletons to fight in an army, and that was bad. And then in Wrath of the Lich King, there was a worse plague that would attack both the already undead people, make them more undead, and the living. So there is a plague. It's unclear yet whether this game, because not all the pandemics deal with plagues. It's the pandemic system, but like the I forgot what the water one is, but there is a pandemic that deals with I think it's in the Netherlands.
Is there like a Water World edition of Pandemic with like Kevin Costner?
No, it's not even like it's you're managing water levels in the ditches, and you're trying to like balance out. It's not like disease related at all. I should have looked this up beforehand.
But yeah, a lot of it also has to deal with national disasters as well. A lot of pandemic series. So it's like, hey, how can we save the most people? The whole, like, it's not the spread of the disease. There's like a video game version of you are playing a virus that's spreading. But the pandemic board game is about curing and saving the planet. And what we should have done anyways, if more people played pandemic, maybe we wouldn't have. Oh, sorry. No.
So yeah, it's unclear whether this actually deals with the pandemic in the game or whether it's the pandemic system, because the pandemic system is, like cubes going into different places. So the cubes could be a plague, or it could be just the armies spreading around and using the mechanical system, but moving away from the disease basis of it.
Yeah.
I've played Pandemic before. One of the first cooperative games that I've played. I think it's a really fun system. I think it's really cool how the Pandemic IP has gone around to different types of games, and they change it up every time. This is the first time I think that it's been applied to like a modern media IP. And I had recently played World of Warcraft Small World, which is a really cool take on Small World, and took like a robust mechanical system and put an IP. Because historically, 10, 15 years ago, people would slap an IP onto a board game and it wouldn't be a good game. They just use the IP to sell it. But I think they're doing really well now with blending the things. So I'm pretty interested to see how this turns out. It's got minis of all the characters. So you got like your Thrall mini in there. You got your Arthas mini in there. So I'm excited to see where this goes, because it's really cool. And there's probably going to be Garrosh Hellscream in there as well, who is part of the action, and who everyone remembers is the son of Gromosh Hellscream, who's one of the most important characters in the Warcraft movie that we talk about frequently on the show.
And we all love.
Classic example.
Classic American film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all know the lore because we all watch it annually. I want to know in the chat, if you guys are going to play a pandemic, I mean, this is cool because it's not like just about the pandemic. It's not just, it's a World of Warcraft themed pandemic game, but I want to know the vibe of people out there. So let me know in the chat if you guys are interested at all in what's the mood out there. Because I feel like people don't want to do anything viral related, but maybe I'm wrong. I would love to know.
I think that in the chat, I always think that this person is Chris Krios. This it was mentioned rising tide, the pandemic with the managing the water levels in the Dutch countryside. That is the one that I was looking for. So thank you, appreciate for that.
Yeah, basic. But like people are we were just talking about the World of Warcraft. So hey.
Basic Witch is excited. Warcraft pandemic. I need this. I have one person on my team. I'm with you.
I think there's more people. There's more people.
Totally. I'm just curious to see what is the vibe. I just want to know.
Yeah.
You know
Wrath
what?
of the Lich King was my favorite expansion of WoW, and I wanted to name my son Arthas, but it was vetoed.
That's a tough. I mean, there's a lot of
middle name. That's what middle names are for.
It's a very strong name, but so
it is. It's okay. I would have been Vincent Valentine's if I was born boy. So
that was also on my list. That also got vetoed.
That's a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah, I would have been Vincent Valentine before Final Fantasy even came out, and it would have been.
I was saying your parents were okay. Never mind. Okay. Cool.
no. So, on other related news, other really cool geekdoms that you can get excited for. Maybe just me. Okay. So one expansion. Guess what? Last year, Dune Imperium. I don't know if anybody heard about this Dune, series of books and lots of board games out there. I don't know. It's like a little like cult classic, low key kind of thing. But hey, guess what? Dune Imperium, the board game, is actually going to get an expansion, which is the Rise of Ix. This is like if you read the more of the Dune series in the books, they're like another like the planet Dune is very important because the spice, but also you gotta have the Ixians are going to be coming in, and they're like very like, you got technology, we got technology in that whole bit. So the expansion that is coming out is going to be focusing on the Ixian society. That will include 6 new leaders to represent 3 new houses, a bunch of new Imperium, intrigue, and conflict cards, which are really, really great to mix into because there's not really like in the Dune Imperium box right now, there isn't a lot of conflict cards, and it's kind of nice to add the spice to more spice. Also, there's going to be new mechanics for dreadnoughts, which are supposed to be powerful war machines that are supposed to like, how like some of those people take a traffic cone and put it on a parking space to kind of save it. That's how from what I understand, that's how the mechanic works. So you can like kind of block your opponent from taking the space that you want. Also, there are also going to be technology tiles that require like basically permanent buffs to characters. So like, for example, every time you win a conflict, you gain water tokens. So this is just a bunch of new mechanics that are going to be added to this with this expansion. It is scheduled to be in stores 2021 in the holidays. I don't know when the Dune movie is coming out. Maybe it's going to align. And
is it ever coming out, or are they just going to tease us for the rest of eternity?
I don't know.
They're going to tease Isabella specifically.
I know. All I want to see is my little bird prince, Timothy Chalamet. It just got moved. It was supposed to come out in October, I think, and it got moved to November, I think. Something happened. It just got delayed again. But I think it's very interesting that we're getting multiple Dune games before we get a single slice of Dune anything. And like, not only that, we're waiting for the movie to come out, but also there's supposed to be a Dune TV show that's also supposed to come out as well. So we're getting a lot of game stuff before we get any of the media stuff, which I think is interesting. I don't know if that's going to raise people's, honestly, because if you're into board games, you're probably already into Dune. Like, it's the Venn diagram is kind of like this. So I don't.
I'm learning things about Dune right now.
Are you on the Wikipedia page as we're talking about it?
I watched the RTFM teach video because he's like super enthusiastic and super into Dune. But that and this conversation has been the only thing I know about it.
There's worms, dunes, spice.
I always thought the worms were from Star Wars.
Star Wars stole it from Dune. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
whole story about that.
Oh,
I just thought they were the same creature because I'm also not a Star Wars person, so I'm learning lots right now.
okay. It's all right. You still like you understand that they're a thing. You don't like. Hey, here's the thing. You could be into lots of different fandoms and not like everything. What? You don't have to prove yourself by liking a specific thing. Oh my God, my mind explode.
But Monique, we're gonna get you into Dune.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
I'm Dune for it.
There.
Can I say this whole thing is just we're I don't know what we're on right now.
I'm coming from the other side. Don't do it. It will wreck you. It will make you so sad. I was out halfway through the first book because I just couldn't handle it. So.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Well, I was going to watch the movie because I found out that was the one with Patrick Stewart and Sting. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, the 80s version is wild.
I do kind of want to watch that, honestly.
Please,
Just
Movie night!
the 80s, the David Lynch version of Dune is wild. It's crazy, and
Wait,
it
it has Robin Williams in it too, right?
no.
Or am I, okay.
No.
Okay.
But it will help you in zero regard with the new movie. So
Okay.
it's not going to help you understand the actual. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that all theories aside, there is a Game of Thrones hole that needs to be filled, and it looks like Hollywood wants Dune to just stuff it in there. Anywho, well, you know what's really, really cool? Live things are happening, especially now that D&D is becoming more and more popular. We're starting to get like the super celebrities joining. Isabella, since you're our movie expert, tell us who is going to be gracing the books.
It's true. I have a degree in film because I love debt. So D&D Live is going to be taking place next weekend, running June 16th and the 17th, starting at noon Pacific Standard Time, the best time. And they're going to be streaming that live on Twitch, on YouTube, and also the Peacock Network, if you have that on your smart TVs as well, which is actually kind of major that Peacock, which is owned by NBC, is going to be streaming D&D Live, which is kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of mainstreamy. This is coming out mostly through E3. No, I'm sorry, E4. G4.
G4.
Wow. I was getting there.
You're going through all the.
I was getting it's really confusing. E3, G4. G4, if you're young and you don't remember, was a television station in the 2000s that had a bunch of gaming stuff on it. It was very popular with nerds. There was all kinds of different kind of gaming news, gaming shows, gaming stuff. It was ahead of its curve. This was before we even heard of a thing called a YouTube or a Twitch. We had to go and we had to watch it on the television set. You had to go and adjust your dials back in the old days and slap the little console, the box that you had on top of your TV that you were getting pirated from your neighbor who was getting satellite television. So this G4, it went kind of under through mismanagement, and they are revitalizing G4 again as your source for all kinds of gaming stuff. So they're bringing back G4. G4 is, I think, going to be a station, but I think that they're also going to do live stuff as well. And part of that is D&D Live, which is this huge annual event. I can't remember what year they're in right now. They've been doing it for the past several years. Obviously, they didn't do it last year because of the pineapple pan pizza. And so they're bringing it back this year with lots of new celebrities. The celebrity that I'm very excited for is Tiffany Haddish is going to be joining them, which I love. Tiffany Haddish is so funny. She's one of my favorite comedians. She's really, really good live. She has a really quick thing, which I also love. Also, if you haven't watched, she has a stand-up special called Bat Mitzvah, Black Bat Mitzvah, I think is what it's called. It's very funny. Please check it out. So she'll be joining Patton Oswalt, which is no surprise. Everybody who knows him probably knows him as the voice of Ratatouille. He's also going to be in the new Hulu show. Emma, did you not know that? Okay.
I know who Patton Oswalt is. I didn't know the Ratatouille thing. Huh.
You didn't know he was Ratatouille? Okay. And the voice of MODOK in the new Marvel's MODOK show on Hulu. He's a huge nerd. So that's not surprising. Seth Green, who you probably know from Robot Chicken, but you probably also know him for playing Dr. Evil's son, Scott, as well. If you didn't grow up in the 90s like the rest of us did, he was in a bunch of teen rom-coms and things like that. One of my favorites that he's in is this movie called Idle Hands. Watch that movie. It's funny.
Yes.
Can't hardly wait, right?
Yeah, that's a film. So they'll be joining as well. Seth Green will be making an appearance in the game Faster, Purple, Warm, Kill, alongside one of my favorite people, Black Die Society DM and Into the Motherlands RPG designer B. Dave Walters, who is very well known in the community and who's an awesome person. LA by Night actual player and King of the Nerds regular Xander Gineret. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm sorry. And True Blood and Daredevil star Deborah Ann Woll will also be joining them as well. Patton Oswalt will be joining the rest of the cast from the AP Bio TV show, if you've ever seen that. Nick Pinn, Allison Snyder, Jacob Houston, and Marissa Baram in another session called The Palace of the Vampire Queen, in which B. David Walters will be DMing that game as well. The proceeds for that will be going to Alice's Kids, which is a charity that provides winter clothing to children. We talked about this last time, but another one of the sessions is WWE wrestlers. Xavier Woods, one of my favorite wrestlers from the Good Day team, Ember Moon, Mace, and Tyler Breeze, who will be joining by friend of the show, Abria Iyengar, who will be DMing them through the Chaos Carnival as well. There's going to be a ton of stuff in this next weekend that's going to be happening. They're going to be doing a lot of feature previews of the Dungeons & Dragons upcoming releases, including this year's adventure, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and the new Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos, and also the new D&D themed Magic the Gathering set, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So there's going to be a lot of previews, a lot of guest celebrities. I'm hoping that one of my favorite D&D live regulars, what's his name? Oh my God, I just forgot it. He's a big buff guy, and he plays D&D. He's a big buff guy.
Is it the one married to?
Yes.
Vin Diesel?
Yes. No, not Vin Diesel.
No. It's David
Joe Manganiello.
Thank you. Joe.
Yes,
so close.
David Minchin is very close to Joe Manganiello. Yes, I hope he shows up, and I also hope that Vin Diesel shows up because he also plays D&D as well. So yeah, this looks like it's going to be a star-studded D&D palooza, which is a really great opportunity, I think, to get people interested in how you play the game. I think having more diverse people, not only community members like Abria and Dave, but then also people who are celebrities who can kind of raise the profile as well. So yeah, this looks like a good thing, and it'll be fun all around. Are you guys going to be tuning in?
I hope so.
Yes.
I love Tiffany Haddish, and I want to see if she wears the dress.
What dress?
Tiffany Haddish bought a white dress for an award ceremony, and it was so expensive. She's like, I'm wearing this for all the award ceremonies. I'm getting my money's worth out of this.
Yes.
Nice. And I am like, respect. I love that. So like she just started wearing it wherever it was appropriate for her to wear a formal dress. I loved it.
I love that. It's awesome.
I like that ideas. But yeah, no, that is something that we could like look forward to. Plus it also goes to a good cause. Hey, put clothes on kids. Let's do that. Also, hey, guess what? More things to get excited to. Monique, do you want to tell us the 2020 announcements from on high of your tower, fair Monique.
Heckin' yesin. Let's talk about the Dice Tower's announcements for their 2020 award winners, because there is one game that I am particularly fond of that came out last year that won multiple awards. We'll get to that in a second, because we'll talk about first their Game of the Year, which is also the most innovative game that they awarded, was The Crew. If you haven't played that one, it is a trick-taking game, but it takes it cooperatively. So one person plays like the mission control guy, and everybody's trying to get to take certain tricks, not all the tricks or some of the tricks. It's done really well if you have not played that. So that was their Game of the Year. We have a few other ones, like Undaunted North Africa was voted best 2-player game, and then we also have Forgotten Waters, which is best theme, which is super exciting because it takes that crossroad system from Dead of Winter and applies it to pirates. So that's fun. Best welcoming game is Isle of Cats, because they're cats. And if you have not checked out their Kickstarter, I think you may still be able to get on late pledge. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited about that one too. Excellence in Rules, which is, I love this category, went to Gloomhaven Jaws the Lion, which I think is very well rewarded. That has a fantastic rule book. Also talk about like best solo game is also from CGE, which is Under Falling Skies, or that one you have like you're building like you're going underground trying to escape from an alien attack. I'm actually really excited about that one, because when it comes to solo games, please give me all the sci-fi. One for best expansion was Chronicles of Crime 1400. I'm really excited about that one because it takes the Chronicles of Crime that we all know and love from Lucky Duck Games, and then it puts it in 1400. So it kind of makes it feel more like Assassin's, one where he's like, wee! And he like leaps off the buildings, you know?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed.
Thank you, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best production went to Dwellings of Everdell. And of course, best game from a small publisher was actually Dune Imperium. What? And then party game went to Hues and Cues from the Op. And best reprint is Rococo. And I love that game. I have the old one. I adore it. I did not go in for this new one, but it is designed by Ian O'Toole. So taking a look at that is definitely worth some good dream fodder there. So the other one that won multiple categories here was best game from a new designer, best artwork, best strategy game. All went to Lost Ruins of Arnak from CGE, which that game is basically like it takes... It's another like you get to the ruins of Arnak, and then you just kind of have to like discover what is left behind on this island place. So it feels very much like Indiana Jones, but a little also a bit of Myst. But I've also been playing another game called Call of the Sea, which makes me think of both of those things, and Lost Ruins of Arnak. Definitely one of my favorite games last year. It's been a lot of fun to play on BGA, and that, my homies and chat and beyond, is the 2020 award winners from the Dice Tower.
Oh gosh, I wanted to play The Crew for a while. And just hearing you talk about Lost Ruins of Arnak, I've had that come up a few times. I'm like, oh, I should check that one out because that sounds super fun.
Yeah, I'm actually going to buy Lost Ruins of Arnak. And then I also just got The Crew not too long ago. And I would say it's actually good. And also I only got to level 4. if that makes any sense. Like we were just like, oh God, it actually, like you think it's simple, but it gets complex. As I said, I only got to level 4 of 31. Yeah.
It's fun though. You just kind of keep going at it, and it's just like I can't wait to just kind of be in a room huddled around a table with people going ah.
Yeah.
All right. So that is all stuff that you guys could probably put on for your fellow nerds Christmas lists, or gift list or birthday, whatever, celebration of life or something like that. Here's a board game that you guys can look forward to. On some not so awesome news, because, it's a thing that's constantly things that we're battling. Konami ends contract with a football star, or as we call it in America, soccer star, Antoine Griezmann, if I remember that, amid allegations of racism. Yay! Not like we cover this every week. This one, if you guys don't know, the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Ambassador was stripped of his title last week when a video, like basically a Snapchat video of him mocking hotel staff as they attempt to fix the television. So he just basically received this title award for Konami less than a month ago. And there's a video of this basically football player for France and Barcelona. Basically, you can go ahead and look on YouTube yourself and make your own decisions about it. But to me, it seems like somebody who is just like really kind of being a jerk and saying it in a even though the team itself is backing him and saying that it's not racist, and he kind of just did a slight apology, not realizing that his actions were quite racist. Just from my view alone, my personal feelings about this is that when you start to referring to people by their country, you people, and your language, that's a big indicator that maybe it might be racist.
I mean, the whole thing is like, if you watch the video, it's really short.
Yes.
But, Konami is a huge Japanese company. They're a huge Japanese gaming company. He was mocking the Japanese staff that had come in through, if you've seen anti-Asian sentiment, then the kind of mocking that he was doing for the Japanese language. And the entire time he was filming himself. So that to me is the levels of stupidity in all this. Like, not only are you A, stupid for being racist, B, you're making fun of the nationality and the race of the people who pay you money to be the worldwide ambassador for Yu-Gi-Oh! This company that's based in Japan. 3, you filmed yourself doing it. 4, you put it on Snapchat so that people could see it. And 5, that's where I'm up to, right? That people could still find the video and download it from 2018 in 2021. Who are you? What is wrong with you? That to me it makes no sense whatsoever. Emma, we were talking about this earlier, but I think you're right about this, but I think that it has to do with this person who feels as though they have the money, they have the success, they have the privilege, and what's the worst thing? What are they going to do? Fire him? No, that's never going to happen to me. I'm rich and successful and powerful. And then I guess you found out what happened because they did fire you, you big dummy. I hate when celebrities get caught doing dumb stuff and then they suffer the consequences and they're all shocked Pikachu face. Who are you?
But then it's even with some level of consequences, there will be there's consequence losing the ambassadorship. The football club apparently is going to lose sponsorship, right? Because it's all intertwined, right? Well, we have all these intertwined deals, and we'll give you money, and we'll advertise in your stadium and all this stuff. And it's well, we're not going to do that anymore because you did it bad. And I think, are these consequences even enough to see is this person really going to lose any money? They have so much already, fans, their football club or whoever is still defending them. And what I was saying before the show is just once you get to a level of power and influence and money, it's just a lot of these, you see people do this, how could they do this? How could they be this stupid? And it's just because they do it all the time. They walk into a club and they just insult everyone and everyone just plays along with it because they have to, because there's the power dynamics and the privilege there. Right. So it's good to see them taking action for it, but it's frustrating that this kind of thing still happens. It's just
how are you
do anything? You could just not do that. You could just shut up while someone fixes your TV, right?
Or you could be thank you so much. You're having extra tip. Well, tipping isn't really.
I don't know, because even some people are it happened in 2018. It's that was 3 years ago. He wasn't a baby when that happened. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. He released this really half-cheeked apology versus j'ai réfuté avec fermeté les accusations qui me sont portées et je suis désolée si j'ai pu offenser mes amis japonaises. Listen, she's
I heard half of that and it sounded like a bad apology.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like half of that, and I'm like, nope.
Basically, what it means is that I'm sorry to the people who felt offended by this. I don't condone any form of discrimination. And the part that he ends at, which really frustrates me, is the part where he says, Je suis désolé, which is like, I'm so sorry. Si j'ai pu offenser mes amis japonais, which means like, I'm sorry if I offended my Japanese friends, which is like, sir, that's not... That's not an apology to say, I'm sorry that I offended you if you're my friend. It's just, he's going to suffer from it because he's going to miss out on the contract, you know? I don't know why they chose him as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ambassador.
Yeah,
I can think of 40 other people that would be much better to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Ambassadors than this schmuck.
I mean, if they're still looking for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Ambassador. Konami Kami.
But yeah, it's just, long story short, is just don't be a jerk. Kind of stay humble to your roots because everyone comes from somewhere. And also, it's not very hard to just like not be racist. Like, it's just very mind-blowing concept to some people. But yes, that's a big thing.
If you're not going to read The Room, at least read a book.
Nice.
Oh, I like
Put
that.
that on a t-shirt. Love it. Print it on a t-shirt. Sorry, that's a Loki reference.
In any case, we got more magic from Emma. Living the dream, it's so magic. It's magic with Emma. Sorry.
All right, I'm not going to go into this too far because we've talked a fair amount about the mechanics of it and stuff. But the Magic the Gathering Adventures into the Forgotten Realms set is now live on Magic the Gathering Arena. So that is correct. If you want to go on some ventures, venture into some dungeons, hang out with Drist, hang out with Lolth, have cards with very role-playing themed mechanics, like you stumble upon a glade or choose your weapon. There's a lot of use in there, which is super fun. And then all the classes, you have like cleric class and you have different ways. There's just some, again, very boundary pushing stuff for Magic the Gathering. As a very frequent player myself, I'm looking at these cards and being like, whoa, there's a lot of very new, kind of scary stuff going on there. Already potentially some broken combos happening. Not to get into it too much, but basically it's very hard to destroy lands in Magic the Gathering. And there's a land that's a changeling, which means it's every creature, which means it's an angel. And there's a card that makes it so you can't lose the game as long as you put this counter on an angel. So you can basically put something onto this land and then turn it back into a land and you can't lose the game. So there's some pretty wild stuff happening in there right now. Paper version isn't out quite yet. The pre-release is next weekend, I believe. But the arena version is out now. So you can dive right in and check out some of these mechanics for yourself. I know a lot of people are very excited for this set. So it's exciting to have it be up and have it be live.
Yeah. So, hey, exciting Magic news, guys. Go check them out right now. Emma endorses them. But also, hey, guess what? Isabella, do you want to go ahead and keep on? We're going to beat this dead horse all the time. Beating the dead horse. Time to beat the dead horse.
The horse is not dead. The horse was dead. The horse then resurrected itself and is now undead. So we have some more TSR, which might be the last time that we ever have TSR news. If you are familiar with the ongoing saga of the Gygax family, we talked about this the last time. I'm going to try to make this very brief. So we have Gary Gygax, who is the granddaddy of D&D and the tabletop empire itself. We all have him to thank for that. But at the same time, he was a deeply problematic man who had a lot of deeply problematic issues of the racism and sexism variety. He has since passed. His son, Ernie, has since taken on. He has two sons that are involved in this, Luke and Ernie. Luke and Ernie don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. They are both by two different women. Gygax sold TSR, which is his company, to WotC. WotC now owns D&D, so they have that going on. Ernie, the son, he wanted to also take on TSR as well. Luke, the other son, partnered together with another company in order to take on one of the IPs from TSR and to make their own thing. So there's currently not currently, but there were 3 TSRs. Then Ernie, who is now going by Gary Gygax in order to kind of take on the mantle of his father, recently relaunched TSR, took it back from Luke, his brother, and the other IP holder, so that they could be underneath one single IP to kind of like reclaim his father's mission or legacy or whatever. He had a miserable release with all of this stuff. He went online, he said a whole bunch of spicy stuff, a whole bunch of things that were just it was the wrong way of handling your announcements that you're going to release a new company, and it did not go over very well. We announced this stuff last time. We got our most number of downvotes for that video. But you can't keep us down for long. For talking about the Gygax thing. So it went terribly awry. It got very bad press. It did not go over very well on the internet. So Ernie Gary Gygax has now rebranded again with another company that has 2 names. I can't really figure out which one is which one. It looks like he registered one name and then misspelled it on another registration, which is chef's kiss. So it's either called Wonderfilled or it's called Wonderfilled. Depending on who you ask. That release kind of went over like a lead balloon. Also, Luke and his partner that made the second iteration of TSR has also rebranded as well. They are now, Solarium. Solarium? Yes.
Yes, Solarium. But that one was a different company. I think the Luke is in charge of Gary Khan and not the TSR. I think that one's with a whole separate other person.
Yeah. So
okay.
Luke partnered together with that other.
Okay.
They're in order to so the two brothers kind of were separated for a while about like who. Yes, if that makes any sense. It is full King Lear. It is a full Shakespearean experience, this whole thing. It's two houses divided by a single wood. It's very complicated. And when I become successful at screenwriting, I will be adapting this. It will be an HBO special. And it'll be all about this dysfunctional gaming empire family. I can't wait to sell it to HBO. Anyway, so that's going on. So TSR 1, 2, and 3, that's no longer the thing anymore. We have Solarium, which is not associated with Gary Gygax and the new Wonderfilled as well. All these different partners have split ways. They are not associated with each other. Wonderfilled is not associated with any of the other iterations. I don't even think that Ernie is associated with his brother at Gary Khan. They are definitely not associated with WotC. WotC has not made any statements associating themselves with any of these new things as well. WotC wants to be left alone. So it's just, there's an ongoing issue, particularly when it pertains to the Gygax family legacy, which is super messy. And, maybe, solve this stuff in your will, maybe. But yeah. Other than that, it continues. We'll probably have news next week too.
Sorry, I'm going to keep thinking about King Lear every time. I think it was so
this whole thing
adept.
is so Shakespearean.
Well, like I want to say, people can learn, people can grow, people can, if you're had problems in the past, move on from it, create new things. Like if you're a creator and, you know, people learn over time and say like, okay, this thing has some issues. I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep being a creator. I'm going to make new things. I just don't think just nostalgia and coming back to an old thing. It's just move on, you know, like we're not saying don't make things, make new things, add new art, create new things. Just like, don't cling on to this thing in the past. Yes, there's nostalgia there. Yes, there's history, and some of that things are good and you can preserve what's good. But there's also you got to recognize there's a lot of problems and a lot of stuff that's bad. And maybe just the power of the nostalgia isn't enough to make it worthwhile to cling on to this thing.
Yeah. I think when money, family, legacies get involved, egos get involved, you have a recipe for disaster. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this all. I told you this horse not dead.
Not dead. It's undead.
Undead. Yes.
I feel like
reanimated.
The RPG community itself is the Cordelia in this tale. Or it's just like, we just want you to stop being a jerk.
We are going full Shakespeare, okay?
I love it. We're doing it. It's a Netflix show. It's on HBO. Let's do it.
Yep.
Well, folks, we're going to go ahead, and that was our main news today. But guess what? We're going fast into the bundles. All right. So, hey, with this week bundle of holding, we got Zobek for D&D 5th edition. 5th edition fantasy role-playing supplements for Cobalt Press. Basically, this is a collection of source books, adventure sets around the protectorate of Zobek. Yes, sorry, the words are hard. Although these builds were designed for Cobalt Press in the Midgar setting, based on Central Eastern Europe, they can easily be ported into other fantasy RPG systems. You get the Empire of Ghouls, Underworld, and From the Clockwork City. This Zobek for a D&D 5th edition benefits Direct Relief, which is still helping people around the world with what is going on. COVID is still very rampant in other parts of the country. Let's keep that in mind. And there are various different variants. So just be aware of that. And yes, this will benefit those people helping out in all of those different areas, Direct Relief. The other bundle we have is Lone Wolf from March 19th, the tabletop adventure game from Cubicle 7, based on Joan Diver's game books. Basically, this is your last chance to get everything you need to become a heroic warrior monk of Magnamung. The world behind Wolf was originally explored in like 31 games. It's a choose your own adventure, but they can't use choose your own adventure because that term is trademarked. But it essentially works like that. Basically, the rules are designed to work in layers with young and new RPG players. Just get basic rules and more experience, just going through 31 books. If you guys want it, you get it. And this benefits the Crumlin Children's Hospital in Dublin, Ireland. So, hey, you want to help out kids, especially those that are sick in Ireland themselves, which is, Ireland has its own drama going on there. There's a lot, by the way. If you guys want to look into the history of Ireland, you should probably go look at it. And if you want to go ahead and help those people out, you can go ahead and get those bundles. And with that, I say, hear ye! It is time to open the democracy of us. We are the Kickstarter union. We have unionized and down with the Queen Derek forever and ever. Union, we the people, Gen Con. Say it, Isabella.
It's just so mixed. It's like we're unionizing, but there's still a monarchy, but we're also a democracy.
I'm pretty sure this is Les Mis right here.
Yes. I am Jean Valjean. So I'm really excited about this one. This one's called Fat Magic, which immediately took my attention. This is a food-based campaign setting for the 5th edition. This looks super cute. I absolutely love this. This ends on Saturday, July 31st, so you have a long time to get in for it, but don't wait too long, okay? This is set in a world saturated by delicious and dangerous food magic. This campaign setting is packed with more than 250 pages of terrible food puns, off-the-wall culinary adventures, and more kissable cuties than you can shake a carbonated beverage at. That's what they wrote, and I had to keep it in because it was very cute. So you are in the peaceful village of Salted Pork, and you have to go and you have to send out your adventurers in the magic tainted wilds of this place called Bouillabaisse. There's so many different kinds of things inside of this campaign, which I think is really great. One of the things that I'm really interested in is the subclasses, like the Pact of the Celebrity Chef Warlock, the Way of the Fermented Grain Monk, and my favorite, the Cold Brute Barista Barbarian. That all sounds, if you're from Seattle, a cold brute barista sounds like a fun time for me. So this is coming out. This is Fat Magic. The campaign ends Saturday, July 31st. Get into it if you love food and magic, which who doesn't? And this also goes along with my dream of having a D&D game session where we have different courses of meals during the game session. Anyway, that's for another time. If you guys know anything about me, whereas Emma is to dice, what Izzy is to tarot cards. I love them. I can't get enough of them. I buy them all the time. I have too many. This one is called Tarot of the Lantern Path. This one ends Tuesday, August 3rd. This is a 78 card hand illustrated deck inspired by nature and femininity. Each of these cards was hand drawn, hand rendered by the artist. They are beautiful. They have this sort of feminine, ethereal kind of a quality to them. The name itself represents the guidance of the deck that the deck can give you as long as you hold your light high, which I thought was really, really beautiful. The artist has put in over 4,000 hours into the creation of this deck. And each deck comes with its own guidebook, which helps you to kind of understand the themes of the tarot overall, but then it also helps you to kind of discern the meaning that's in each of the tarot cards. So if you don't know, each card of tarot inside of the images that they use for the tarot deck has symbolism inside of the card. And so the guidebook helps you to kind of decipher what that means for you. You can use these if you like tarot, but then you can also use them in games as well, which is what I do all the time. So this is Tarot of the Lantern Path. It ends Tuesday, August 3rd. Check it out now.
Oh, also, guess what? With all my Kickstarter, sorry, I'm just kind of like going everywhere. That ends Tidebreaker RPG, which is has 12 days remaining, ends July 22nd. It's a cinematic tabletop role-playing game focused on collaborative world building and quick pick-up fight tactics. Basically, this is a superhero tabletop RPG. Really does, if you ever back in the day, remind me of Fate, like the Fate system. If you ever played that, definitely harks to that kind of like tone where it's supposed to be more cinematic narrative and encourages over-the-top stunts. So the game runs on multiple meta currencies. The GM has a lot of Doom currency, so that's like because Doom is happening to the world, they're playing usually the bad guy, and players have what are called hope currency, so like we have hope, we're gonna live, we're gonna win. There's also another mechanic called stunts where basically players get to narrate all the actions their superhero do, and the more praise like the like your co-RPGers are saying, so like if somebody goes like, and then I take a rocket and shoot him in the face and everyone's go damn, that adds more cool points to it. So the reactions you get from other fellow players actually add to the cooler things that your hero can do. So it's just like a lot of fun. Like if you're into more story-based superhero type of games, the combat zone, it makes it for easy for theater of the mind gameplay, but it can also be miniature based as well. It just, for me, I really do like narrative RPGs, and this just looks like a lot of fun. Also, the character like booklets they have there look really awesome at how they like design all the characters and stuff. It just looks like a really cool RPG. Superheroes, how can you go wrong? So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. It's Tidebreaker RPG.
Last but not least, we have a board game Kickstarter. First Ascent, with 6 days left, ending Thursday, July 15th, a rock climbing themed strategic board game for 2 to 5 players. I actually had the pleasure of seeing this game in a Feeding Frenzy pitch contest that I helped judge for Nun Pub. Really cool looking concept. It's definitely medium weight. There's a lot of bits here and a lot of components here. You're going to be acquiring gear, honing your skills to climb the best route up the mountain and become the most skilled climber. One of the things I loved about this is it displays a really deep, fascinating understanding of mechanics of rock climbing. So it really works in a lot of the gear, a lot of the different moves and stuff. For someone like me who only knows the very, very basics of rock climbing, it's just really cool to see all those little pieces and bits in there. Another huge factor for me in this is the diverse representation in terms of age, gender, and race in this game. So the creator worked really hard to just make it natural, you know, like just a bunch of different cards of people of all different appearances and abilities too. The header image is somebody with a supplement leg. So it's just really cool to see that it's no ableism in this game is one thing that I really love. And it's created by Kate Ott, I think is the last name. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But if you're into rock climbing, or even if you're not, and you're just like interested to learn more about it, and you're looking for something a little bit more on the strategic side, this is 45 to 90 minutes. Again, lots of cool bits, really awesome table presence. So if that sounds cool to you, you should check out First Ascent with 5 days left.
All right. Yeah, all of these great quality games. Go ahead and look it up. Check it up on Kickstarter. And folks, hey, did you know that was it? That was Gen Con. We did it. We did. TableTakes is done. Oh, my heart hurts. But wait. Don't worry. There's more stuff on Gen Con TV, though, so you don't have to be heartbroken throughout the whole week. Let me go ahead and tell you the streaming schedule for this week. By the way, this is all in Pacific Standard Time because we are located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Monday at 6 p.m., board games with the Brothers Murph. They're two bros. They play board games together and have fun with it. Wednesday, 10 a.m., this game gets dicey. It's two friends from completely different parts of the world trying to play games online and trying to figure out all the problems that go with it, but still have a fun time with it. This game gets dicey. And then on Friday, of course, you can always see us lovely folks here at TableTakes gracing you with all of that board game knowledge and news. But hey, you know, if you can't catch us live on Twitch, don't worry. We're on YouTube 24 hours afterwards. Just don't forget to follow and subscribe in all of the various different platforms so you don't miss all the notifications. Also, if you want, you can join our Discord and be part of the as we call it, Gen Conians, not another name that shall not be uttered, maybe whispered. No? No, we don't condone that name at all here at Gen Con. But yes, you can go ahead. No, we don't.
We don't do that here.
Even though we message it every stream. But
we do.
But yes, you could go ahead and join our Discord. And I want to just say, you know what? Thank you so much, Monique, Isabella, and Emma for hanging out with us, and also behind the scenes, Arthur, for being all our audio and everything behind there. And also thank you guys for watching here at TableTakes and Gen Con TV. You guys also bring up the energy to us. We do it for you. And I want to tell you guys, have a wonderful, awesome weekend. Enjoy everything except for maybe if you're in New York. I'm sorry, New York. Get some buckets. I feel sorry for you.
Buckets, New York.
I just don't know what else to say. But yes, you guys, we'll all see you guys next week, and have a wonderful, wonderful time zone. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Do hearts.
Hearts.
This is a Korean heart. This is how they do it in Korea.